Hello, I am Shears. I wanted to make this video for a very long time, but I just didn't have the time. Plus, this kind of video is probably not the best videos to make when starting a channel, but I like Iceberg videos, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I know Leah has already made a Genshin Iceberg video, and that was amazing. But I'm using a different iceberg than the one she used. Credits to you slash Ivalon Valid, I hope I pronounced that correctly, for making, or I should say posting, this iceberg his friend found. There is a lot to cover, so let's just get on with the video. I will not be going over the first two layers because these are pretty well known, and some of them are memes like Mihoyo hates Dendro or Timmy is a harbinger, although that would be pretty cool. Um, the Genshin impact and Honkai impact existing in the same universe is probably here because of the collaboration between the two games. How Kishing and Fischl are in Honkai Impact, but also because of the name they share, the impact. And there is also this speculation going around that the story of Genshin is like a prequel for Honkai's story. As of making this video, nothing is confirmed, so that's that. Rest of the topics can be found pretty easily, so I'm gonna skip over to the third layer. So the fall of Khaenri'ah, it's about this civilization called Khaenri'ah, which was destroyed by the Archons. So this civilization, I'm pretty sure everybody knows that they were advanced civilization, and they were not under the influence or protection of any gods or, let's say, archons. So they were just this independent nation that got really advanced, and they started building giant robots called field tillers, which were these war machines, which we now know them as ruin guards. Yeah, so, and archons saw them as potential threat, as well as them not worshipping any archons. So they just decided to completely wipe out the civilization entirely. And the abyss mages you see in game are the people from the civilization. We still don't have a full story as to why the archons would go to such lengths to prevent the advancement of a civilization that didn't worship any archons. But the game is yet to be updated, and as of recording this video, we don't have a full proof as to why this happened. The Tsaritsa was the former Archon of Love. Tsaritsa is the Cryo Archon of Snezhnaya, and she is probably referred to as the previous Archon of Love because Danslef calls her a god with no love, and Zhongli avoids mentioning her true ideals or moral values, I guess, when he names the other Archons too. Maybe this suggests that her ideals may have changed since the fall of Khaenri'ah, meaning she used to be Archon of Love, and then she hardened herself after the fall of Khaenri'ah, and now she is the Archon of Ice Cryo. And yeah, so that's about this topic. And since we are talking about Khaenri'ah a lot, the Eclipse dynasty is the ruling dynasty, or the royal family, I guess, of the kingdom of Khaenri'ah before its downfall. So, along with the fall of this dynasty came the fall of Khaenri'ah over 500 years ago. I have no idea what the chapter question mark means. Besides, maybe it might be referring to the epilogue of the whole game, because it is listed as question mark in the chapter list of Teyvat storyline in Genshin Wiki. So I'm guessing it refers to that, because otherwise I have no idea. If you guys know what this means, please let me know. Moving on. Sumeru Academia is basically like the university or school of Teyvat in Sumeru. This is like the Oxford or other prestigious universities, which actually is older than the current Archon of Sumeru. Uh, it is also the academia from where Lisa is. Many other magic users, like I should say vision users, but it's not all vision users, I believe. The Crimson Witcher Flame as well is from Sumeru Academia. So, yeah, the Crimson Witcher Flame, the artifact, I guess that's her artifact. Yes, she made it. So, yeah, it's just referring to the academia located on Sumeru. Xiao's PTSD is pretty self explanatory if you know his story. To shorten it, it's basically he's one of the Yakshas and he has to share all the burdens of the other Yakshas, which died, or one Yaksha turned evil, I believe. Yes, I'm guessing Xiao's PTSD is referring to that. Lisa, which is spelled with an H here, is basically referring to, well, Lisa, because she's kind of mysterious, and yes, she is a student from Sumeru Academia, which we talked previously. Diluc says that she has a lot of potential that she just does not show. So we have really little to no idea why she's in Mondstadt. Maybe she's researching some stuff because that's what Sumeru students like to do, apparently. That's about Lisa with an H. Well, Children of Muratha. Muratha is the Pyro Archon, and this is just referring to her tribe, because from what I have heard and seen, the Pyro region is gonna be based on indigenous America, Native Americans. So this is the tribe that worships Pyro Archon, Muratha. So yeah. Diluc's delusion. Now this is interesting because Diluc is one of my favorite characters, and when I researched about him, I found out about how cool this story is. So his father was one of the knights of Favonius, and he had obtained one of these delusions from the Fatui. So these delusions are like visions, but said to be more powerful, and it comes from Snezhnaya. Diluc's father was planning on giving his delusion to Diluc, but he was ambushed by a monster called Ursa the Drake, which forced him to use his delusion to protect Diluc and defeat Ursa. But the power he wielded was really strong, so he was fatally wounded. It is not so sure, but some say that it killed him, but some say that it left him so in the verge of death that Diluc had no other choice but to take his own father's life, just to put him out of his misery. So yeah, that's pretty dark if you ask me. So yeah, those are what delusions are. They're like visions, but from the cryo region, and they're really powerful. They're like infinity stones. Like you need a lot of fire to wield them. Paimon is the unknown goddess in her weakened form. So this is the theory really common in the Genshin community, including myself. I mean, a lot of us have already speculated that Paimon is not just a traveling guide. Like she's definitely something more. I have seen a lot of people saying that Paimon will be the final boss, or she is the unknown goddess, which is mentioned here in her weakened form. But I would say that she is not the unknown goddess from the first, simply because the goddess you see in the first cinematic is the goddess of space, and Paimon is speculated to be the goddess of time. I believe the Triquetra symbol holds a special value in Teyvat or in the world of Genshin, as it appears in many places like these, and it also is in Paimon's dress, but upside down. Maybe it's there because she loves Mora and Mora also has the symbol, but maybe because she is someone more than just a travel companion. Abyss time distortion. Well, this just means that time flows differently in Abyss, as well, we know that it is a mysterious region that is beyond the world of Teyvat, so it's referred to as the land of endless darkness. So it's pretty safe to assume that the time flows differently there. Um, Havria, she is the Archon of Sol. So basically, every Dota 2 or League of Legends player after a game of ranked. But yeah, she has a pretty sad story, as we can see that in Zhongli's story quest. So she was a really gentle but fairly weak goddess, and she refused to participate in the war because she was kind and weak. She got killed by her own followers because of her own state, which resulted in her turning everyone around her into salt. So in Zhongli's story quest, we see that a lot of people are turned into these statues of salt. So that's what happened. It's pretty straightforward once you play his story quest. I think Mono's master does not belong in this tier. Maybe I'm missing something, but she's just a hydromancer who taught Mona, and she's a rival of Alice. Besides that, I have nothing to say about her. Tartaglia and the Abyss. So, child, he encountered a mysterious swordsman who actually taught him how to pass through the abyss unhindered. And he actually manifested the ability to stir up endless havoc, as I found, because of his, well, troublesome nature. So, that's just about him and his ability to go through abyss without being affected. Varka is dead. So we know Varka is the Grand Master of Mondstadt, Knights of Favonius, sorry. And it is mentioned that he is gone on this long expedition, and we have not seen him yet. So people assume that he's just dead and they're hiding the fact that he is dead. We are not to jump to conclusions because the Genshin story is still going on. So maybe he might make a comeback, or maybe he will be a playable character in the future. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Mare Jivari. So Mare Jivari is basically this huge land just of ashes, and it is said that wind does not even blow there. So it's just a sea of lava and ashes. I'm gonna skip over the Chi-Chi's origin because it's already explained. Going to the missing Yaksha will be a future playable character. So there were 5 Yakshas, and Zhao is the only remaining one. But the one of them actually went missing, or it is said that they went evil. They became evil and went missing. So people speculate that he will make a return as a playable character in Genshin. We'll see how that turns out. The Dark Sea. The Dark Sea is the location. Well, it's the sea which are not within Teyvat's boundaries. We don't know if people or anything that lives there, but if they do, they're not under any archons. So yeah, it's just the sea part which you can't explore. The Hexen Circle is an organization of witches that explore the white tree that you get the artifacts from after doing any domain. So yeah, that's just that about the Hexen Circle. Wow, this video is already way too long than I expected. I was actually planning on fitting everything in this one video, but I don't think anybody will watch like a 2-hour video of Genshin who a new YouTuber made. So yeah, that's that. I will be making another video for another tier. I was totally not expecting this video to be this long. If you enjoyed it, I'm glad. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I am out.